All right, my dears, Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This is our Spa Social Beats episode. And today we are talking about a very important topic that many of you have on your minds. Should you create a separate social media account for your e-com stores? And the answer is it depends, right? It depends. I know. So let's break it. Let's break that down, because I know there's a lot of spa owners in the past year who have either opened e-com stores, they're wanting to create that as an additional stream of revenue, but they're trying to figure out, like, do I need a whole separate Instagram? Do I need a whole separate Facebook? Like, what's the answer?
So, like you said, it depends, but it's definitely, I think I'll say this. You can change your mind. You can start one way and you can morph into something else. So I know with 2020, a lot of people just jumped right in. Like, we just needed to do what we needed to do and get things rolling. That's great. Now that you've had some time, maybe it's been a while since you started your e-commerce store. What is your end goal here? Are you hoping to build a brand that is nationwide, global, where you are attracting people from all over the place into your brand, into your universe, hoping that they buy from you? If so, I think distancing yourself from your local location is going to be important, because that can get confusing for a consumer. They don't know, even if it may seem plain as day that you can send them products, no problem, they might see, oh, this is a location, I can't buy from them. Assumptions come into play if you've got those two things mixed. However, I think if you're a spa owner that has introduced e-commerce as a way to expand your market, maybe slightly outside of your zip code, but primarily you're trying to sell to your client base and maybe just referrals from there and other people who maybe get referred to you but don't live in your local area and would not be coming into your location, I think in that case, you can keep it all on the same social media account, keep things simple, keep things streamlined, and you will still see great results, because at the end of the day, you're making things easier for people and more convenient. So it's really not a lose situation either way, but you have to think of just the bigger goal and the bigger end picture of what it is you're looking to build.
Yeah, and I talked about this a lot on coaching calls with our students in Post with Purpose, in Spa Retail Rockstar, and Growth Factor, all about, like, because ecom was just such a big thing in 2020, and we're just trying to, like, how do we make the best of it? And it's really like, it's almost a whole separate business if you're wanting, I mean, it is a whole separate business if you're going nationwide. And really, like, how do you want to structure that? As just, does it legally need to be a separate entity? It's, what is the brand? Are you going to be the face of the brand? And like you said, you can change your mind. Like, a lot of people just started right in 2020 and we're like, all right, I got to get this thing off the ground. But now, as you see, like, what it is, what it can become, then it's like, okay, how much energy do I want to put into this? Again, what is the end result that I want? Am I looking to just boost my retail to service percentage? Am I looking to get maybe an extra $1,000 a month? Or am I looking to get an extra 10 or 20,000 bucks a month? Those are two very different outcomes with two very different levels of effort and software that gets involved. So I'm just going to throw this in here, because a question that I get all the time about ecom is, do I need to use Shopify, or can I just use Vagaro or Booker or whatever software I'm using, because it already has an ecom, or Squarespace, whatever, all of these things? And the answer is, if you're going nationwide, if you're going for a bigger business brand, you 100% need to go with Shopify. It's just what it is. There's upsells, there's back-end information. It is the platform that you need. And we have no affiliation with Shopify. We get no money or anything from them for recommending them. We just know multiple 7-figure business owners in the e-com space that 100% Shopify is the way to go.
Yeah, it's the gold standard.
It's the gold standard. And, they're just at they're at scale, right? They make it as easy as possible for a really inexpensive cost for what you're getting. When you're looking at Squarespace, they have their Ecomm, or your booking software, whatever you're using, there's their Ecomm. If you are just selling to your existing client base, it's fine. It can be a little clunky sometimes. That's been one of my biggest complaints with spa software, is that they're still in the 90s as far as design and things
Not
like that.
Super user friendly from the consumer experience. Yeah.
Yeah. We want it to be, the more clicks you have to do, the more people you're going to lose. Right. So that's one of the great streamlined things with Shopify, is it makes it super easy for upsells, downsells, all of that kind of stuff. But definitely think about, and as to tie it back to social media, when we look at Instagram, there's so many Shop Now that you can connect directly to your Shopify store. Shopify has tons of integrations that can go directly with social media to drive traffic and make the purchasing process super easy and seamless.
Yeah. And that's going to be huge heading, like in 2021, we're in there now, but Facebook and Instagram especially have introduced some big shopping features in 2020. And they did that in an accelerated fashion because of what was happening in 2020. And so they introduced a lot of those, building your Facebook and Instagram shops. And they're going to start allowing you to tag products and live streaming. That's going to become video product tags is going to be huge. And when you have a site like Shopify, it makes that transition just so much easier, because that's what they're going to want to integrate with. And it's just going to set you up for success and less headaches down the road, I think.
So as a bonus for you guys, we, in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, we released our 6 video tutorial. It walks you through screen sharing, exactly how to set up a Shopify store yourself. Super, super easy to do. It's in our free resources section. So we created that a while ago as a way to say thank you for every 25 reviews that we get on this podcast. We release a new resource. And so we've got that in there. So if you're like, I don't know how to do Shopify, you can literally watch it, and it's screen sharing, telling you exactly how to set up your Shopify store. We had our students get their store up in one day and do it themselves. And these are people who do not identify as tech savvy. So it's super easy to use, very user-friendly. Be sure to go in and check that out. We'll get a link to our free resources section below this episode as well. For those of you that are wondering, how can I do Shopify? How can I get that set up? But I think it's, just like with anything, as the great Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. What is it that you're wanting to create? And go from there. And that will answer your question.